Narayan Sakar Hari or Bhole Baba is on the run after the tragic Hathras stampede incident which killed at least 121 people earlier this week. Now new details are coming up and cropping up on the self-styled godman as investigation continues. And as per the police probe, Bhole Baba owns vast wealth including a luxurious ashram in Mainpuri and at various other locations including Gwalior. The ashram is reportedly spread over 21 bhigas and has numerous rooms, each equipped with amenities comparable to that of a five-star hotel, perhaps even more. The Mainpuri ashram is valued at approximately 50 crores and apparently resembles the White House in the United States with its white painted exteriors. The rooms inside the ashram are also fully air-conditioned and supported by 24-hour electrical supply. We are also getting to know that Bhole Baba was arrested in 2000 after he took the body of a teenage girl, claiming that he could bring her back to life. In fact, before we start discussing more of this with our guest, I'm going to go up to the big screen and in fact try and divulge more information about this so-called God man. His name is Bhole Baba and this is his net worth. He's worth around 100 crores of rupees, and of course this is an underestimation of what he must be actually worth. He owns properties around 25 ashrams is something that's owned by him, has 24 to 30 cars, luxury cars. He also has this huge cavalcade which follows him whenever he arrives or departs from a location. He in fact has a farmhouse in Mainpuri at the prestigious Aligarh GT road, which is the GT Karnal road. It's a 13-acre farmhouse, and the cost of land in that part of Uttar Pradesh is somewhere close to 4 crores. The rooms have amenities which are very similar or resemble an up-class five-star hotel. There are 12 rooms in the farmhouse that he lives in. 6 rooms are obviously earmarked for Bhole Baba. I don't know what goes on in those rooms, and 6 rooms are meant for volunteers as well, and there's a private road inside and into the ashram as well, and state-of-the-art cafeteria is also there for visitors and the sevadars. 80 sevadars in fact live in this particular farmhouse as well, and only 7 people are permitted to enter this farmhouse. He owns several properties worth crores all over the state, perhaps all over India as well, and only 7 people, like I said, are permitted to enter the farmhouse, and these properties are worth crores of rupees. He calls himself Bhole Baba, and he has properties in parts of UP like Shahjahanpur and Agra as well. Ayush, my colleague, is joining us live at this point in time to give us more details about this. Ayush, if you can hear me well, so far what we have learned is that Bhole Baba is absconding. If he's done nothing wrong, and he's also put out a statement that he was not aware of the activities that were going around in this particular ashram, or where this in fact tragic accident took place, then why is he running?
Well, yes, Vineet, I'm at the very right place where the stampede took place, and I'm at the incident site of the Hathras, and you can see very well here that the field has been completely filled with water. You can see the pandal behind me. This is the very place where the incident took place. The stampede took place, and that Baba just escaped from here. This is the reason where he fled away, and now he is still absconding. The police party is still trying to search him. The searches are being made at all his ashrams in Etawah, Agra, Aligarh, Hathras, Delhi, NCR, Noida. The police is all set to arrest that absconding Baba, who is a self-proclaimed godman at the position, and the procession which took place here claimed the lives of 121 persons and leaving several others injured. You can clearly see that what the situation was. I have shown the visuals on NewsX earlier also, that the slippers, the sandals and the shoes were completely lying on this highway, and this is the very place where the stampede took place. And I want to show you the exact reason behind the stampede. That, see, this is the field where the gathering was, and there is the same field on the other side of the highway too where the stampede took place. The people just ran behind that godman, just ran behind the car of that godman so that they can get the sand off his feet, so that they can get the dhuli off his feet, which is said that as Charan Dhuli in which is a very resemblant place in Sanatan Dharma. And you can see that the mindset of the people, that they are even ready to die, they are even ready to fight for that Charan Dhuli of that particular self-proclaimed godman. This is the situation on ground, and this this is we can see that what's the thing which is the people are what people are thinking here. The people with me are the local villagers, and they are even complaining of that particular self-proclaimed government. They are saying that there were crowd of more than 2 to 3 lakh people gathered here on both sides of the highways, creating a complete nuisance in this village. Over to you.
All right, let me in fact take this debate a little forward. Sumit Peer, senior political commentator with us on the show. Professor Harish Shetty, senior psychiatrist, also joins us on the program. Mr. Uday Sahai, former IPS, is also with us on the broadcast to talk about this pressing issue. Sumit Peer, I'll begin with you. Sumit, this cult of Babas and blindly adhering to and holding on and latching onto every word or syllable that comes out of their mouth has resulted in a lot of people being exploited, a lot of people in fact being taken advantage of, and now in this episode, Sumit Peer, a lot of people losing their life. Obviously, it takes an event management company to figure out how these people are going to move about, what kind of security corridors and placements are in fact intact if you're calling such a crowd. And at the helm of this, the person responsible is obviously for whom they are appearing, and that is the Baba. Has this cult of Babas, being very little considerate about the lives of their followers, become a nuisance? And how big a death toll does it take, Sumit Peer, for the government to actually realize that a whip needs to be cracked?
Thanks for having me on your show. You're absolutely right. The first and the foremost thing is there has to be SOP, there has to be protocol which has to be set. ITV network is a very big house, right? Imagine you want to do a seminar or a conference of 50,000 people. You will need to take 5,000 clearances. And then the people will come, they will inspect you, they will make sure everything is right, and there'll be 10 people bothering you during the conference. Ye kiya aapne, wo kiya aapne. My point is, when such events are had, are these people needing the same set of approvals and same set of permissions? The answer is no. They can do whatever they want to do. Who is the company who is organizing this? Where is the fire exit? Where are the fire things? Where is the safety? For example, what if there was a fire in the tent? What would have happened then? You would have more deaths. Stampede, there were so many people clocked in one tent that they were suffocating. They want to go out to breathe some air. And there was one special tent for the VIPs. Now, the challenge is very simple, Vinny. These people want to make maximum money and spend minimum money. I don't know what their budget is. Maybe their budget is to spend 10 rupees on a devotee or whatever. If this Baba and his organizers were considerate, they could have put a bigger tent, they could have put better management, they could have got the help from the police, they could have hired even an event management company to do it, because at the end of the day, these all events generate crores of rupees in revenue, right? Now, when you are getting crores of rupees and you are risking the people's life, I would see it as a case of criminal negligence. I would see it as a case of where you are not bothered about the people. I will see it as a case of, wherein you were waiting for a disaster to happen. Unfortunately for the government of, today, irrespective of the state, these people get away with a lot of things. There are a lot of things which are relaxed for them. There are a lot of concessions which are given to them. There are a lot of things which they are not held accountable for. Now, does the FIR have the so-called Bhole Baba's name or not? I don't know. Why it is not a case of culpable homicide? I don't know. Why it is not a case of criminal negligence? I don't know. You can't say I was there, I didn't know. Because if you are there, people are coming to see you. Somewhere down the line, it is your responsibility. We were having a debate just now, Vineet. Whatever is happening is Manipur is Modi's responsibility. Yeah? You are trying to crucify Modi ji. Bhai, Manipur mein kya ho raha? But this Baba says, I have done nothing. Mere ko kya pata? They had just exactly come to meet you. It was your event where Prime Minister Modi is responsible for allegedly what is happening in Manipur. How can this man run away and say, Meri koi responsibility nahi? I'm not responsible. Why there are two sets of rules? And when the Shasan Prashasan knows, usually they will declare 50,000 people, 2 lakh people will come. So you have to do a budget, na bhai. It has to be in a, let's say, 50 acre of land. The tent has to be this way. The cooling has to be this way. You have to have police bandobast. You have to take 5 approvals. You have to take 50 kinds of approvals. Because in our country, unfortunately, we always wait for a disaster to happen. Ram Rahim, we are waiting for a disaster to happen. Asaram, we are waiting for a disaster to happen. That Baba Rampal, we are waiting for a disaster to happen. Now, Bhole Baba, a disaster to happen. The challenge is that in our country, unless and until something of this proportion happens, nobody is bothered. We don't look into it. And chote-mote incidents, sorry, I'm not trying to demean the people. But if 1 or 2 people are dead, nobody will be even bothered about this. Let me bring one more aspect to you. This time in Haji Yatra, 1,500 to 2,000 Hajis lost their life because there were no arrangements on the ground. But if this number was 15,000 to 20,000, everybody in the world will be talking. But what do? They look at the couple of people coming, they say, okay, 1,500 to 2,000 is small, let's not talk about it. If it was 2 or 3 people, we won't be even talking about it. But it unfortunately had 122 people, and most of them women and children. That is why it has become a national issue. I think this person is responsible. His organizers are responsible, and the people who are running the event are responsible. Who is collecting the money?
But Sumit, it's also the cult of these Babas, which has become a pandemic of sorts as well. He will not be the first Baba who's responsible for causing harm to his own disciples. What do you think at a governmental level, at a central and a state level, should be done about this? There have been teachers and preachers in the past as well. But the incrimination that they faced was very, very different from the kind of incrimination that these Babas are accused of. You mentioned Baba Ram Rahim, who's in jail for a very long time. He's also come out on parole and probation, and that is also something that a lot of human rights activists have objected to. They don't only have this immunity and impunity, but they also have this clout which allows them to continue despite all these transgressions.
Vineet, the challenge is very simple. Today, in this, if you become a Baba, you are a crorepati next day. When you are rich, you can hire the best of the lawyers. When you have the best of the lawyers, you can have the best of the influence. And God knows who all are your devotees. Aapke bhakt kaun hai, so-called bhakts, allegedly. I don't know who all are them. When this whole coterie comes together, they are able to flaunt laws, they are able to manage things. The challenge is very simple. Why you can't do it as per the rules? Just imagine one thing. Bhagwan na kare. If this kind of a stampede would have happened in a political party, imagine if it was a BJP rally or something like this happens. You lose the goddamn election. You are gone. Your election is gone. But when these people will run scot-free and say, I'm absconding, I have nothing to do, I don't know anything. This is where the problem is. Unless and until you make the person responsible for all the arrangements, if there's a violation, his trust will be penalized. There is a trust he'll be running definitely. There will be because that trust will be controlling properties and all. Where is the money going? Seize their bank accounts. If you want to do action, seize their bank accounts. Stop that trust. Cancel the license of that trust. Cancel their FRCA licenses if they have any. So unless and until the implications come to their doors, they will not stop doing this because they somehow believe because of the cloud and all, they can buy the way through. And if something goes wrong because they're earning in crores, they can hire the most expensive lawyers of the country who will fight for them in the cases. And tarikh pe tarikh chalti rahegi. This is what the system is.
Okay.
Unless and until you personally bring it to the person and his trust, his family. I want to make one point. There was a tragedy in Ubhar. Delhi, we all know. Border picture was screened. Unfortunately, a fire was there. A lot of people got killed. My heartfelt condolences to all. Where are the Ubhar owners today? Ubhar owners are today in jail. So if Ubhar owners are today in jail, though they were not managing the hall, there must be a manager, there must be somebody who is looking into it. But they were held responsible by hall to tumhara hai. Likewise, event to tumhara, why we have different sets of laws? If Ubhar guys are in jail, why doesn't this man need to go to jail? What is the logic here? So did those, I think Ansal brothers set a fire there? No. But they owned the place and it was criminal negligence and all the things were attributed and they are serving a sentence in the jail. How is this man different from that? That is the question I want to ask. Why two sets of laws? Why two sets of perspectives looking at the same problem?
Good point, Sumit. In fact, let me also rope in Professor Harish Shetty into this conversation. Professor Shetty, if you're there with us?
Yes.
So, how do you describe this behavior, especially by the followers of these Babas? What takes, for these people to become a part of this cult? What do these Babas say and do that actually negates anything scientific or anything which can be done by a doctor or, for that matter, a psychiatrist, that these Babas end up doing and fooling people at a large scale?
I think the most important thing is the status of a society. In such an angst-driven society, more people go to Babas, Maulavis and pastors than to doctors. So when a body is infected, more viruses thrive. When the society is alienated, without any emotional contact time, Babas thrive all over the world, including India. Now, if you look at the numbers of followers for Babas in the last 10 years, they have multiplied. Also because of the emptiness, of the fact that the emotional contact time in the families have gone down, there's alienation there is a large amount of understanding, and people do not meet each other. So that's number one. Number two, what do they say? They speak the cultural language of the context. In the cultural language, they also provide a lot of hope, sense of belonging, and also weird, irrational promises. So many charismatic priests from the Christian faith have conducted fake meetings where suddenly somebody who's lame starts walking, somebody who's got cancer has improved. So do the Maulavis. So when science is compromised because the mind is blinded and people are emotionally hijacked, one leans to cultural symbols, one leans to symbols which echo in their own culture. At the same time, I am worried about the post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms of the victims. I am worried those who saw death in front of them, those who have lost their members of the family, if they do not get psychosocial relief, which should be the right. The state government should provide psychosocial relief to a large number of them who are very anxious, who may get vivid memories of the event across their life. And if not treated, they might suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, just like in Vietnam War veterans, just like in victims of earthquake, flood, or cyclone. So I am saying that beyond financial relief, you have to actually provide free psychosocial relief. I still remember that in Kandla or in the earthquake-affected areas, if financial relief is provided, without psychosocial relief, people spend the same in, again, Babas, temples, mosques, churches, and building tombstones. If psychosocial relief is actually provided, the money is saved, the money is spent mindfully and for the betterment of the family. So psychosocial relief and financial emoluments should go hand in hand. At the same time, politicians and Babas have immunity across the country. Nothing happens to them. Nothing happens to them. All rules are broken. Every lawyer, as somebody said, would come up and do a lot of acrobatics in the court. So I would equate politicians, unscrupulous politicians, Babas, Maulavis and pastors who take the people for a ride. Also because India is a poor country, Indians need a lot of psychosocial assistance. Mental health is in a very bad shape. 1 out of 7 Indians are mentally ill. 1 out of 3 Indians who commit suicide is because of family problems. 1 out of 4 Indians who commit suicide, end their life by suicide, are poor, are daily wage laborers. We are a pressure cooker about to explode, and we have small explosions across the country, in villages, in towns, in cities, but nobody cares. After 2 weeks, NewsX will also not carry this story because human memory is very short, and we will go from one story to the other. We'll forget all this, and probably during the anniversary of this disaster, we might carry a story with a byline.
You have a good point, sir. Compelling and thought-provoking points that have been made by you. Mr. Uday Sahai, former IPS, also joins us on the show. Mr. Sahai, thank you for speaking with us. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Mr. Sahai, who's to blame for all these deaths? Is it the Baba? Is it the police? Or is it the entire this environment, or this need to have these religious gurus to validate one's existence in this particular civil society? Where do you stand on this?
Well, I am going to speak from the governance point of view. First and foremost, this event, as all of us know by now, was a private event. And whenever you organize an event of this scale, where you are expecting about 50,000 to 1 lakh people, here you had 2.5 lakh, you visualize a kind of deployment which is required. Not only in terms of police personnel, but also maybe ambulance van, maybe in terms of medical assistance, the layout of the place and so on. So there is no professionalism in deciding the kind of scale that you're going to lay for such a big event. So you get a permission, you casually kind of assess that, okay, 50,000 people are coming, so we require about 50 people or maybe 20 people, and without having checked the ground zero and doing the local intelligence, you give the permission. In this particular case, for example, I was told, I hope it is factually correct, that throughout almost about 2.5 hours to 2.5 hours, when the show went on, the local OC and the SDM were there on the spot. If they were there on the spot and they had given permission only for 80,000 people, and there was a gathering of more than 2.5 lakh, what the hell they did to stop the violation, the gross violation of what was going on the ground. I know that it's not directly the police job because it was a private arrangement, but police is and the administration is supposed to ensure that the conditions in the permissions which you give are followed. And if they are not followed, the organizers are brought to the book or, forced, compelled to do what they are asked to. I don't think it happened here because for 2 hours it went on and on until towards the end, people started touching the feet of the Baba while he was about to leave, and that led to some kind of commotion and stampede and so on. So the point is that do we have a professional SOP? Do we have a professional scale of deployment? Or we just go by some common sense, ki acha, 50,000 people are coming, let's deploy 10 people. One spokesperson yesterday was mentioning ki 5,000 log kyun nahi laga diye. They don't know that what is the deployment, what is the availability of force in a thana. 5,000 people are not there in a thana. If at all you have to bring 5,000 people, suppose, you need to have extra deployment from neighboring district or maybe from the headquarters called Lucknow. And therefore, it's a high time that whatever is done, and we are all quite sad about the tragedy. But if we can take some lessons and draw kind of a guideline and SOPs, etc., and make sure that it is ensured on the ground zero. That's my take.
All right. Well, at this point in time, we're also joined by Mr. A.P. Singh, who's Bhole Baba's lawyer. Sir, appreciate you taking out the time and speaking with us. The first question obviously is, the State District Magistrate had given authorization for 40,000 devotees. However, as many as 2.5 lakh devotees attended the satsang. Was Bhole Baba unaware of the 80% increase in the crowd that was gathered there?
Nobody can say 2.50 lakh, nobody count, because ground zero reporting is different, but the sanction issued for the program of Manav Mangal Milan Samagam Samiti by local administrator ADM was correct, was legally, but few persons increase due to election code of conduct start from February to June 24 due to general election of 18th parliamentary. So during the election campaign, some political party alleged डेंगू मलेरिया है, HIV है, एड्स है, सनातन ऐसा है, हिंदू हिंसक होता है. Is that like this type word used in political rallies? So Sanatan, because Narayan Sakar Hari is a great spiritual person of Sanatan Dharma. That's why he never demanded any money. There was no any process of donation, charity, receipt, etc. Narayan Sakar Hari also have no any YouTube channel, social sites, social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook page, etc. His life is very clear. He already got VRS from UP police and used his pension amount for his survival.
Right. Well, will Bhole Baba give compensation to the family members of those who have lost their loved ones and the devotees who have been hospitalized as a result of this program?
Yes, Narayan Sakar Hari and I direct to the persons, to the district committees of Manav Mangal Milan Sadbhavana Samagam, to take care of injured families, to take care deceased family in this regard, and provide financial support, physical support, mental support, educational support for their lives, for their children, for their daughters, etc.
Well, in an official letter, Bhole Baba has stated that legal action should be taken against the quote-unquote anti-social elements who should be held accountable for the ignorance that caused this fatal consequences. Who are these elements that he's talking about?
I am requesting by your channel, your national channels, everybody seen you everywhere. I am requesting through my page Dr. A.P. Singh Lawyer, a person who have video of this incident, please send their videos. I do not disclose identity of that person, ladies or women. He free to send video of this incident that can identify the anti-social elements. They can identify by the SIT, by the UP police. They can use my social sites, Dr. A.P. Singh Lawyer page or Dr. A.P. Singh Lawyer Instagram to send these things.
Mr. Singh, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has also alleged that a cover-up on the organizers' end. What is your reaction to that, and what are the arguments against the idea of a collective responsibility here?
I am very, very thankful to government of the Uttar Pradesh and Chief Minister of and Health Minister who provide financial support, who visit very next day a place of incident and met injured, who also send his senior officials, Secretary Home, Director General Police Uttar Pradesh Law and Order, and they visited the place of incident. They spent one night in the city. So I'm very, very thankful. I'm very, very thankful of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, who said, given message of condolence during the reply of Honorable President of India in the Lok Sabha, 18th Lok Sabha. So I'm very, very thankful. Also, Honorable Defense Minister of India, Rajnath Singh, who immediately sent NDRF from Ghaziabad to Hathras by the team of doctors. Every possibilities performed by the state government, central government, our media persons, our NGOs, social persons. I am very, very thankful to each and every person.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.